Welcome, guys. Welcome to today's episode. We have a very exciting guest. I'm really looking forward to kind of the before and after and now as such, and how he got to be where he is. So we'll get into that in a minute. But for those of you just joining the podcast, we are Nexvia AI and specialize in helping business leaders scale their revenue through automation. So if you want to learn more about how to take your business to the next level, make sure to stick around. And if you're interested in a free growth consultation, just drop me the word growth in the DMs and I'll get back to you. But to more important things, today's guest is Dr. Azam Anwar, a physician, just like myself, an entrepreneur who founded CLn Skin Care, but he's got quite the journey to get there. But CLn Skin Care, to me, when I looked at it, it seemed like it's really redefining how we approach cleansing and skin health, and fascinating journey from cardiology to skincare. But it seemed really that you were looking to fill a gap in effective dermatologist recommended solutions. So I look forward to hearing more about that. Welcome to the podcast, Azam.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Dr. Smith.
Yeah.
Happy to be
So
here.
take me back a little bit. I'm not quite sure how many years. Like how does, and I believe you were an interventional cardiologist,
Yeah.
right? Or how do you get from that to yeah, focusing on a skincare line like this?
Well, I was minding my own business, and a little over 15 years ago, I suffered a skin infection,
Ah,
cellulitis. So that's a meaning that tissue was involved on my shin. Probably picked it up at the hospital, and it went from a small little, you know, size of a pea or grain of rice
yeah.
to a half dollar or dollar sized problem, and went to a dermatologist. He cultured it. It was methicillin resistant staph. So he gave me oral antibiotics and topical antibiotics, and then recommended a cleanser, the pink soap, the chlorhexidine soap, or Hebacleanse.
Okay.
Couldn't really tolerate that. It was harsh and irritating. And so then I went back to him. I said, "Hey, this cleanser didn't work. What else should I do?" He said, "Well, take this thing called a bleach bath." Um, Bleach baths,
Wow.
you may remember back
Yeah,
to your
I
medical
do.
school days where we made Dakin solutions. And so
Yeah,
bleach, in high concentrations in a bottle of Clorox is a poison, but when you really, really dilute it down, it's antimicrobial. And the beauty about that was, um, hey, you don't get resistance to the
yeah.
antibiotic, where if you use
Hmm.
a lot of antibiotics, you get resistance, but with bleach, you don't.
Right.
Um, and it's anti-inflammatory and it's anti-aging and all that. So we found all of that, but suffice it to say, I had to put a quarter cup of Clorox in half a tub of water, so 13
Wow.
gallons, and then
Yeah.
you sit in that for about 10 minutes. So it takes 5 or 10 minutes to make it. Then you sit in there for 10 minutes, and then you take a shower. So it's kind of cumbersome. And I went back to him and said, this is really cumbersome. What can we do something differently? This is, I mean, do patients actually do? Oh, yeah, this is commonly recommended, and so on and so forth. So that was
Recommended, but is it actually done? Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, compliance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Compliance is, does the patient really do what you tell them? Well,
Hmm.
in this situation, the compliance was very low. Like maybe 1 out of 10 would do it, and 9 out of 10 would not do it. And so I said, well, I think we can bring this product, this chemical, in a better format to the market. Instead of using a tub and so on,
Hmm.
why don't we create a product in a bottle, use it in the shower, and get the same impact, but deliver in the shower? Everybody takes a shower. People have showers in the US, and make it a 1 or 2 minute process. So that was the idea, the thesis. And so, we formed a company and put a little bit of money into it. And then, for the entrepreneurs out there, if you have an idea, you've got to put money behind it. I
Yeah.
mean, so, we both, pitched in money, and so you have to have some either family money or
Yeah.
prior success or
Right.
investors or something to be able to get started. So that's one of the very frustrating things as entrepreneurs, that you may not have that. So we found all the 50 or 100 ways how not to make what we wanted, but eventually
Yeah.
over about a 4 or 5 year process, um, getting the right chemist, I got what I thought was good, and some people started using on their earlobes, and I had some folliculitis too. Back in the old days, you'd wear these tight Nike jerseys, right, going to the gym and all that.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you get folliculitis from that, all that rubbing and all that. So, my folliculitis went away and all that. I go, oh, this is good. So we took that product, the clean body wash. We had that in hand, and then um, I got together with the executive MBA program at SMU, and they helped do the business plan. And then we raised money. And the most important thing we did was invest A in the product formulation and B, invest in some clinical studies.
Hmm.
So we went on and did, the company did 2 studies: children with staph colonization, where bleach baths are used commonly. We did those 2 studies, and then 2014, 15, we finished that second study, and we were kind of off to the races after that. But it was a pretty long journey, and the studies cost money, and it all took a while, several years.
That's what I think. What I commonly like to ask people, what was harder than you expected? Now, you came from the medical world, so you understood the clinical trials process and all of that, but just the length of time, was that a surprise to you, kind of going through the whole process?
Yeah, no, I have a extensive background in medical devices, so I was very
Hmm.
fortunate when I was in my late 20s doing a fellowship in San Francisco. I got involved with, very early coronary stent work and product development, device development. So I went into the device world very early. Then when I went into practice, I continued that passion of medical devices. So the part about the medical devices and the prototyping and all of that is, I understood that, but it is a
Yeah,
challenge for most people because they don't have that background.
just the length of time.
So, I think you have to be in the right environment. When I was in San Francisco, that entrepreneurial environment was there, and people were totally fine with trying new things and finding engineers and patent lawyers and all that. That ecosystem is really nice. Um, so I think you need the ecosystem, the attitude, and you
Yeah.
just need a few people that kind of believe in it, or hey, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll pitch in. It's hard to do it alone.
So this journey started 15 years ago. Like, you had, obviously, you're talking a good, I guess, close to 10 years, really, through all of the trials and everything. So where are you now with the clean skincare brand?
Right. So fast forward, we got this on the market, 2014, and after we had one product, and we added a whole product line. So we've got,
Hmm.
I think, 12 products, and the core products are, cleansing with hypochlorite washes. And then now we have a sport wash and a shampoo with salicylic acid and a gentle wash with glycerin. And then we just added a hypochlorous spray. So really that gentle cleansing area, it took us a number of years to fill out that line. So now we're engaged with over, 11,000 medical offices.
Okay.
Um, and so we have about, I don't know, almost 30,000 physicians, dermatologists primarily, nurse practitioners, PAs that we have, sampled. So the business is running nicely, where we send samples
Hmm.
to the doctors that want it. We give them coupons and samples, and we see who's recommending the product. And there are, several hundred offices that also buy our product and resell it to their patients. That's
Right.
pretty common in dermatology.
Now, are your products specifically for people with certain skin conditions, or is it just even for someone who's just interested in routine skin health, skin care?
Well, I think it's for both. We started out with problem skin, and we started out with like one of the most difficult, which is eczema in children with staph bacteria. And we wanted to just prove out that the product
Hmm.
had an impact, which it really did. Um, and then from there on, it's used for acne and folliculitis and body odor and HS or hidradenitis suppurativa. We just did a study with that. So pretty much anything in medical dermatology, the product's going to have an impact. If you have to go see a derm for a skin issue, uh, there'll be a way for them to use our product in that setting. But the product's also used for the aesthetic side to clean the face and so on before aesthetic procedures. And then on a
Okay.
daily basis, kids that are athletic, basketball players that get a lot of acne, wrestlers, mat sports. It's good. And then, women like it for, ending the day and taking off all the
Hmm.
makeup and all that. So, skin problems and makeup and all that are so common with the environment and all that that you may have recurrent skin problems if you don't really manage it. So it's a
Right.
really good way to end your day as well.
I mean, so you've certainly had an incredible journey already with the brand so far. What would you say if you were to get out your magic wand 6 to 12 months from now? What would you love to see happen with clean skincare? Like if no obstacles in the way, what would you love to see happen?
Well, I think it'd be two things. We need to have a bigger uh, share of voice out there. I think that a smaller company always has a challenge on how to get in front of all
Hmm.
the key doctors, all the key dermatologists, allergists, and pediatrician. So just having a bigger megaphone to be in front of them, and then when they request samples to service that. Uh, and then on the consumer side, we just need to increase our marketing, share of voice, and then expand our distribution. So I think really a lot of things in in entrepreneurship is dependent on funding. And so the good thing is we have good internal cash flow so that we can do more and more. But really to get it very big and scale, you need additional outside funding to really scale it because we can 10x this pretty readily, I think.
So is the funding the thing that you feel is the primary bottleneck, the primary thing holding you back or slowing you down?
I think right now, what was holding us back is really the sequencing and of the marketing schema. So I think we have the marketing schema pretty well identified. Uh, by not having a lot of money to start out with, and we've spent a lot of money on the clinical studies. We
Right.
have to be really analytical on seeing how the marketing would really work. Now it's a matter of just scaling its people, process, and then to fund that. I think the
What have
products are
you,
really
yeah.
quite excellent. Yeah.
What have you, yeah, so that's one question is like once a dermatologist, allergist, whoever, once they learn about the products, they're going to get it because they understand the benefit of it. Have you found that the turnover, like the your success rate is pretty high once you're able to have those conversations?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
very high. You're absolutely right. They get it just like that in 30 seconds. They understand it, and and then the next step is, okay, well, how do my patients get it?
right.
Well, right now they can get on Amazon or our website or Walmart.com. But, fast forward with appropriate funding, it'd be nice if it was available, at Target or CVS or, Walgreens pharmacy.
S- So, what have you tried, or what do you try? Have you tried and do you try to get in front of, like, have those conversations with those physicians to get the word out? What have you tried so far?
Well, we've been quite successful in creating a mechanism where the physicians request the sample. So we go to meetings. We go to
Okay.
about 10 medical meetings. We have a robust database, and we do some social media, which attracts the physician. Then they go, "Oh, this is interesting," or the medical resume pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting the network effect where the doctors are sharing this information, and then they see us at the meeting, and then we're as we we're adding representation in various cities. So we have an inside sales force and outside. So
Okay.
uh, we we have very good reach right now. We have very good inbound, and it's just matter of fine tuning it. I think if you'd given the money to us, five years ago, we may have wasted a lot of money, like a lot of
Yeah.
companies do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So I'm intrigued by, especially when a brand tells me that we get in front of the right people at the right time, they get it. Like the challenge, I think, for a lot of companies is having those conversations and getting in front of those people at the right time. Uh, and obviously with physicians, I think it's can be particularly challenging is just getting that getting into that space. Uh, have you thought of any ways to really automate reach out or even using AI to see if you can't just get your message in front of more of them without, the benefit oftentimes of AI for small businesses can be that you can, push a lot out there without needing a huge team of people or really even a lot of expense to do it. Have you explored anything in that world yet?
we think AI will have a huge impact on our business. It's just getting the right people to um, implement that for us.
Hmm.
Um, and I have a very robust lead generation system. So a doctor fills out the form. We get
Okay.
several hundred of those a month. And then we also get these coupons. So I've got 300 to 400 doctors coming in requesting samples. We put them on an automated, sample
Hmm.
distribution. And then we also see which doctors are recommending the product. So all of that now, we have really good data systems, but now that's ripe for the right technology officer for me to
Yeah.
explain the business to them, and then they can implement. Well, this is how it can be done.
I mean, that's several hundred physicians every month that are filling out some form. Like, where are they even interacting with that form
It's
to
on our
fill it out?
it's on
Okay,
our
so
website. Yeah,
they're
yeah. We
just
drive
somehow
them to
hearing
a
about the
form. We drive them to a
yeah.
form. They can get some information to learn about the product, and then they can send us a sample request form, or if they're interested in
Hmm.
getting on a product training. We also do,
Okay.
2 or 3 webinars a month. So we've got that ecosystem. The whole
Hmm.
idea is to really get the product in the hands of the doctors for them to
Yeah.
personally try, and then also in the hands of their patients. Yeah.
So so it sounds like most of those are originally interacting with the brand at meetings or how else? I mean, that's quite a few physicians every month that are seem to be coming through the pipeline.
Right. So we that's what we started out with going to American Academy of Dermatology
Hmm.
meetings. And then I
Yep.
also created a very strong medical advisory group, like a who's who and a scientific advisory
Yep.
group, and kept the medical and the scientific separate. Um, and then so we socialized through that, and we were at meetings. But when you do the math on going to a medical meeting and getting a lead, the cost of a lead of a physician, and then half those physicians may be from overseas where you can't really even
Mm.
service. But we were
Right.
we were spending $400 per lead, to get a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Going to a meeting, and that's cheap, right? That's not that expensive. But we came up with a way to just use, postcards,
Okay.
and have the doctors fill out the form, and the lead generation cost went down by 10x.
Yeah.
So then, if we had to rely on just going to meetings to get the leads, they wouldn't have worked. I think
Hmm.
uh, going to meetings, socialization. I think being a physician, um, I've
For
had,
sure.
yeah, I've had success, and both on the entrepreneurial side, running a group and all that. I mean, I had an advantage where it's easier for me to get an audience than, maybe somebody not in my position.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, certainly with other physicians, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think when you're, talking to somebody who's just they have an idea, they're at the beginning of their entrepreneurial journey? What have you learned over the however many couple of decades or so that you've been doing this that you feel like would be the most valuable for a young entrepreneur or new entrepreneur to keep in mind?
Uh, I think several things. One, they should get some buy-in by other people, and like they believe in the concept and so on. They should have the research all done. They should do all the basic work to see if the idea is novel, and
Hmm.
um, and if there's a need for the product. It's always about, if it's in healthcare, it's always about the patient. It's all with the P's, right? It's, hey, is this helpful for the patient? Is it easy for the physician? Next B,
Yeah,
can you get you know, patents on it, publication? Those are the things that can go to mind. But I think they should immediately form an LLC. Uh, they should put aside $25,000 in a checking account with this LLC, not to spend it, but go, okay, I really believe in this so much that I'm going to put this money aside for it,
right. Yeah,
and then be really frugal with that. But I think if they don't do that, if they don't have an LLC, uh, allocation of funds, it doesn't have to be 25,000, but I've had a lot of people come to me and I go, listen, tell me when you've got an LLC formed and some money in the bank. It means to me that you're really serious.
hmm,
Where I've started to help people and they just had an idea and it was half baked,
right,
um and then I think you do need to really make a list of concrete milestones. So you got money, you got time, you got intellectual power. You The only thing that really matters is achieving milestones. List the milestones,
right,
achieve them. That's what you're buying. Your effort and your time and your degrees are meaningless. The market only values real milestones.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then try to achieve them, and you'll see progress. You might slow down and then get a milestone calendar and put a budget against it. Uh, yeah, those
You
are.
yeah. You
Yeah.
made me think about something when you mentioned about being unique. And are there any similar products to clean skincare, like formulation wise? Do you have any competition in that space?
Not really. I mean, there's some hypochlorous sprays out there, spray
Hmm.
formats. There's some other, cleansing line, but we've just dedicate ourselves to that gentle, hypochlorite type of space. And, we have IP, clinical studies, we have really strong brand
Yeah,
awareness.
right.
So,
Which that piece of the puzzle I think is huge from a physician standpoint, like that you actually have some data to back up what you're
yeah, we
saying.
just actually had another paper published on hidradenitis suppurativa just this month,
Mm,
where 145 patients reported their own outcome. And that's the other thing, is patient reported outcomes are in things that are not really that expensive and so on day-to-day life. It makes a huge impact, and it may actually be more realistic than the physician measured outcomes and clinical trials and so on. So of course, if it's a cardiology or cancer project or something, very, has a lot of impact, then you need to do, really, really rigorous work. But some other ones, I think, showing some benefit on the patient level and getting some publications out there are really super, super beneficial. So we had two publications on eczema and atopic dermatitis or eczema and staph colonization. We just published a paper on HS. We're supporting another study at Northwestern on CTCL, which is very
Hmm.
rare, but you know um, cutaneous T-cell lymphoma. um, they got a lot of staph bacteria on the skin, and so we're showing to see if we can decolonize and remove some of that staph.
Interesting. Okay.
Uh, yeah, so we're just hanging more science onto the brand, and then pathophysiologically, the dermatologists are like MacGyver. They go, okay, well, if it works over there, it's going to work over here.
Right.
The
Yeah.
mechanisms are really, pretty common. And through all of this, as a physician, being an internist, that's a really good foundational place to be. Why is skin disease happening? But to me, it's compromised skin. The skin barrier breaks down, the microbes and allergens get in there, cause inflammatory reaction, and at the end, the NF kappa B is stimulated, and then it's a vicious cycle of inflammation, itching, redness, etc. So in our situation, we think more mechanistically, and
Hmm.
so and the docs do as well. That's why they get it. Oh, okay, the
Right.
mechanism of action of this
Yeah.
on this, well, this really work. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm so intrigued by the approach you're taking, both with the product, but really just how you've gone through the whole process. I mean, and I think it's a tremendous example of what it takes to really push through all of the obstacles that arise on a journey like this. And certainly when you get into the clinical and especially the clinical research space, the obstacles are even larger. So I think it's a fantastic example of how to make it happen either way. So if someone wants to get in touch with you or your product or learn more, what's the best way for them to like for patients or client customers and providers to learn more about clean skincare and get in touch with you?
yeah, they can go to our website, clnwash.com, Charlie Linda Nancy Wash.com. Send a note through there, or they can contact me through LinkedIn or the Azam Anwar MD. So
Yeah,
happy to contact, engage with
perfect.
other docs. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Stick around a few minutes. We'll chat a little bit more, but I appreciate you. Any last minute thoughts you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, I think it's a great time to be a physician and a physician entrepreneur. And then you now have AI, Grok and ChatGPT that can be an amazing professor for
Yeah,
you. Um, I would say that you can really get good directional recommendations there. And I think the next thing is to just socialize, your ideas. And the other thing, which I notice a lot of times in physicians, they just want to hold on to everything themselves,
yeah,
and they don't bring enough people to help them, or they don't share the equity. And I find that um, to be a real telltale sign of things that are just going to take a long time. You got to get people to help you carry that
yeah.
burden.
Don't be our own worst bottleneck for sure, and we can
Yeah,
definitely tend to do
yeah,
that. Well, I mean, that's how we kind of medical training is. Yeah,
yeah,
it trains us to be that way. So,
yeah,
all right, I
yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. Stick around. We'll
Okay.
chat and talk to you
Yeah,
later. See ya.
absolutely. Thank you, Michael. Good to be
Bye.
on with you.